Well, we were all the roommates at the war shoot.
We were all roommates at the World Shoot.
We
We're
were all
live.
roommates.
Okay, yes, we are now live, and yes, we were roommates at the World Shoot.
Yes.
And nothing really super
Just saying.
inappropriate took place in that house. There was some
There's
stuff
some
that
cat.
was slightly inappropriate, maybe, but, you know, more or less legal anyway. Anyway, welcome to the Practical Pistol Show, people. My name's Ben. We're here to answer your shooting questions. On deck today, we do have a bunch of guys who stayed in the same house in France. That's crazy. From Canada, Jeffy.
Hello?
Coming at us from Seoul, South Korea, Mr. Kim.
No, Daejeon, South Korea. Yes. Hi.
and from Kansas City, Kansas, Mr. Matt Hopkins.
Hi.
You're not going to correct that even?
What did you say?
I said Kansas City, Kansas.
Oh, I
That's
don't
like-
care anymore. I really don't give a shit.
that's the shit half of the city.
Well, yeah.
So I just got a message from Gaston after I sent him. I sent him the same picture I put in our. So this is a picture of the. Sorry to the audio listeners, but this is the tooth tattoo. I sent that to Gaston because he asked, like, is this tooth tattoo thing real? And sent him that picture, and he sent me a message in all caps, please don't.
Please do.
Dude, you know he's going to do that. Like, if
I
he
already
said not
ordered
to
the
do
tooth. I already ordered it.
yeah.
So, I mean, sorry for listeners, catch them up. I'm getting one of my teeth crowned, my one of the molars in the, the right side of my mouth, lower right. So it will not be visible, I cannot imagine, to anyone, even if they tried to see it. But my dentist advised me that you can get tattoos done on the crown. So, of course, I ordered a unicorn tattoo. My initial thought was like skull and crossbones, obviously. That's what I should put on that shit. But no, we're going with the Jersey logo for the unicorn, just to annoy people. So, anyway, let's get to the questions, boys. Wait, hold on. I think I'm forgetting something. Yes, I am. If you don't already have it, which some of you don't, Skills and Drills Reloaded is definitely out. A lot of people have gotten it, and I think they kind of like it. So if you want to, when is this going to drop? It'll be April, early April when you hear this. You'll be heading out to the range, start practicing for big matches soon. If you want a few new drills, new ideas, and even some drills that are still good, but rewritten a little bit, so maybe you understand it better, Skills and Drills Reloaded might be good for you. So go onto Amazon and get that for you. It is available digitally, of course. I don't know why you'd want it digitally, but a lot of you buy it digitally. No understanding of how that works. The actual book is available online, and you want the actual book because it has log sheets in there to write down what you've been doing with the drills and log your range session. So anyway, okay, let's get to the questions, guys. Question regarding reloads. My first reload is pretty solid. Going out of the first mag pouch, I run about 1 second to 1.2 on a 7-yard target. The problem is going past the first mag pouch. Do you practice running other mag pouches when you're running a drill like 4 aces? I notice when I'm running a stage that my reloads get significantly worse the further down I go for a mag on the belt. I'm trying to word this question as best I can. When your weak hand goes to grab for a mag, do you sweep the belt so your support hand lands on the next available mag, or do you remember which mag is available and go directly for that mag? Please help. Well, Jeff, you're going to be useful for this question anyway, even though you shoot open, because you shoot open in a shitty country with 10-round magazines. So
And round open.
with a slide stop.
Yes.
With a functional slide
Yeah.
stop, of course. So strange. Oh man, who's the man to lead off on this?
Hold on. Who uses bullets out or bullets forward?
I use bullets out. Kim, I think
I
you're
use
forward.
bullets
Right?
forward.
Yeah, mine is a regular one, traditional one.
And you're using them. You're loading off your crotch anyway, Jeff. Right?
I am.
So Yeah, well, your first magazine. By the
Yep.
time you do your sixth reload, that's loading out of the small of your back.
Yes, that's right.
Well, yeah, that might color our opinions here. All right, Hopkins, what do you think? So
That's sweet.
the first, I guess it's in two parts, right?
Yeah. Let's do it two different. I guess we'll do both
Yeah,
separately.
so you practice running other mag pouches.
Yeah, I
right.
run them all the way through. Yeah.
So you'll, just as an example, if you're shooting a live fire, you'll draw, if so, 4 aces, for those who don't know, it's 2 shots, load, 2 shots more. So you'd stand there, draw 2 shots, load 2 shots, and then just decock and holster the gun. And then the first magazine pouch is empty, and then you'll do the
Yeah.
drill again, 2 shots, load 2 shots out of the second pouch. That mag stays in the gun, decock, holster, and so forth.
Yes.
Okay. You feel that's
I mean-
productive?
Less productive?
No, do you feel it's productive? Yeah, it's a good thing to do.
Yeah, you got to practice out of all of them because you're going to use them in a match. So. Yeah, you
Okay.
have to.
All right, and then I guess the second part, do you practice sweeping back, or do you kind of
Yes.
remember where they're at?
I think I remember now, but it's still a sweeping motion because your hand's going over the same spot.
Huh. Okay.
It's not making a big loop into the pouch.
Do you feel like you slow down a lot to the subsequent pouches?
I mean, we're not doing a third pouch reload standing still. We're always moving when we do that. So it's like sucked up in the time of the movement.
So I kind of hear you saying you do slow down a lot on the third pouch.
Well, it's in the movement, so you don't really notice it as much. You're
Yeah.
not going to be doing a flat-footed third pouch reload. If you are,
Speak
Shit
for
went
yourself,
real wrong.
buddy. There's a lot of stages of
shit
skill.
went real wrong.
Yeah, shit went sideways. All right, Jeffy, any thoughts on this?
I don't sweep. I remember where the mag is. I go for that mag pouch.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're slower as you go work your way back?
I think I'm moving. I don't consciously slow down. I mean, I gotta move, I gotta shoot, so I'll move and shoot, and I'll also grab the mag. And I'm sure I do slow down a little bit to get my finger and my hand perfectly on the mag, get it out, and insert it into the gun. But it's not a conscious slowing down. It's just you need to slow down and make it happen.
All right, Kim, I assume you line up with these other guys.
I
Both things.
kind of do randomly though. So I would probably do like three times out of a week. I would use all the way to fifth pouch, but that's a very not common. So only 3-4 times a week. But most of the time I would use
That's
the
more
first
than
and the
most
second
people
pouch.
practice at all, you understand, right?
Yeah, but one time I practiced it with the 4/5 pouch. I'm not gonna be doing 10 reps or something like that. I would just do like a couple, 3 reps, and then making sure I can actually do it. So most of the practice I use the first and the second pouch. And actually, when I was using bullet outside pouch a couple of years back, I used bullet out for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And at the time, when my mag falls out of my pouch, actually my hand goes to, let's say, first pouch, mag fell out, but I wanted to use the first pouch mag. Then I would try to grab it, and then I realized, oh, I need to go to the second pouch because the mag fell out. But now I just, even the first pouch comes out, I kind of sweep it with the traditional bullet forward. I kind of sweep it all the way through. So I just put one one magazine on the first pouch a couple days ago, and I ran and it fell out. And then I found myself sweeping all the way to the fourth pouch,
Yeah, looking for a
yeah.
magazine.
sweeping all the way.
Yeah, start looking around.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I think it's a technique difference.
Well, I guess all of us can describe what we do. Like, I'm not any different than you guys. I occasionally practice working my way back in the pouches, of course. I think I remember which mag is available. Because what I notice is I have to remind, if I'm practicing, like I described earlier, where I do a drill that's one reload, and then the first magazine is gone out of the first pouch, and then I go into the second magazine pouch. It's like I have to remind myself I'm going for the second magazine now. Whereas if I'm on a stage or a multi-reload drill, I don't have to have any such reminder. I just, shoot, reload. My hand just goes to the next magazine without having to hunt around for it to sweep back. But I mean, I'm not sure this is really, like, how does this really help this guy? You know what I mean? Like, all of us are fairly similar in how we approach this. But how does this help this guy, gentlemen?
It's a practice thing, isn't it?
Yes, of course, he has to practice. But I mean, as far as perspective and like trying to like color his practice or how he thinks about this, I would say everybody slows down as they work their way back in their pouches, regardless of the configuration of the pouches or their technique. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to slow down a little bit as you work your way back, and that's okay. I've seen some instructional material saying the opposite of that, is that every reload should be the same speed. That's just not realistic, especially if you're shooting production or you're going 4 pouches deep or something. Like the 4th one standing still, it's not going to be as fast as your first reload. It just isn't. And you do have to accept that. I think get really fast doing 1 reload out of the first pouch and then practice working back in the pouches so you get comfortable with it. Because like you said, Hopkins, you're going to be shooting on the move a lot or moving through stages. So doing it static is not going to be a normal situation. And either something really bad happened or everyone has to do it or something like that. Like there was that one stage, Jeff, last year at Canadian Nationals where I think right at the end of the stage, everybody did a standing reload. You remember that stage?
I do, actually, yeah.
Yeah, a long course where you run 50 yards and do a standstill reload out of, I think, your 3rd pouch at the end. Everybody had to do it because
That's right.
every division is 10 rounds in that fucking country. That was awkward, but I mean, just practicing a little bit so you get comfortable with it. And like for me, I just kind of am reminding myself during the walkthrough, like, hey, you're going to feel slow. Don't rush that reload. Just, get the mag in the gun and shoot all the stuff and you're going to be fine. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the next one. I've listened to most of your podcasts, but I haven't heard anywhere you discussing the classification process. I've been shooting PCC for the last year as a way to improve my 3-gun skill, but I'm unclear on how to get classified. There's a certain number of classifiers you need to shoot. How is a classifier scored? How would I find out the timer score I need to shoot in order to jump directly to Grandmaster like you did? Any other tip are appreciated. I don't know. Wow, like, how is this possible, guys?
This question?
Yes.
Or this guy not knowing?
How is it possible he doesn't know?
Maybe he doesn't have the internet.
But, no, I feel you. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
Tell him to go to Brian Eno's forums. They'll have all this info there.
Yes, of course. But, let's break it down real quick. You get classifiers, you need 4 in. I don't know how much USPSA he shot because you shoot 4 classifiers and you're going to be classified so long as they're, what is it, above 2% or something?
Sure.
Like you can't zero them is what I understand. Like you have to at least get a hit factor. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
And you have to, and the other thing that seems obvious, you have to be a member. So if you're not a member of USPSA, you're not going to get classified. So be a member, don't zero the classifiers, shoot 4 of them, you get classified. Then your classification becomes a running average of the most recent 8 classifiers. It takes the best 6 of the most recent 8 eligible scores. And there's some criteria by which classifiers can be deemed ineligible. And classifiers are scored the same anywhere. Like it's just a percentage of the high hit factor for that classifier, not the match, but the classifier's high hit factor, which is separate from the percentage you will get in the match itself. And you can find out your timer score. Classifier Calc is still up, isn't it?
Yes.
So there's a website called Classifier Calc. You spell it just how it sounds, classifiercalc.com. Put in the classifier, put in a score, and it will tell you what percentage that would be.
If you're running the most recent version of Practice Score, it automatically tells you your percentage once you finish the stage. Like once you put the hit factor, approve it.
Yeah.
It'll tell you the your classification percentage.
Well, homie would like to know before he shoots it. So.
Oh well, yeah. Then I'll have to do math.
Yeah, then you'll have to do some math. And after describing that system, it sounds fucking crazy, but yeah, that's what it is, man. I think we covered it, right?
Yeah.
All right. Next question should be interesting. Jeff, you won't care about this because it involves iron-sighted pistols, but the rest of us can have a bit of a conversation. I cannot get my hands on a Stock 2 pistol to compare to the Shadow 2. Could you tell me what you think about the differences in the grip size and overall balance of these two pistols, assuming you have shot the Shadow 2? Hopkins, have you shot a Shadow 2?
Once or twice.
I have as well. More
Yes,
than
you
once,
have.
or maybe 3 or 4 times. Not as much as I've shot a Stock 2. And Kimmy, you've shot, of course, a Stock 2.
Yes, I own one.
That's how you got your name, right?
Mhm.
Right. The
Last
thumb
year?
was- yeah,
Or
the
2
thumb
years
was
ago?
Korean.
Yeah, that was Korean.
And have you shot a Shadow 2? I assume you have.
Yes, 5 different guns.
You've shot 5 different Shadow 2s?
Yeah, I just borrowed. Hey, can I have your gun? Like, I'll give it back to you after 20,000 rounds, or no, 50 actually. But yeah, I shot a couple different setups with different grips and stuff.
So what do you think?
So, like before I actually first tried, I read a couple articles on the internet, people saying Shadow 2 is more forward heavy, blah blah blah. But when I actually shot side by side too, Stock 2 one hand and Shadow 2 in the other, and then I didn't feel difference in terms of like, oh, this is front heavy. I didn't really feel that. I just felt like, oh, both are heavy guns. And when I actually shot 2 guns, the sight tracked very similarly. I think shooting ability is very similar, but I think there is a little bit of difference in between the grip. The beaver tail is very narrow on Shadow 2. Stock 2 has a little bit thicker beaver tail, so I felt like I could get a little bit comfortable high grip on the Shadow 2, but that wasn't really realistic difference, I think. It was just how it felt on my thumb and my index finger. And some people say, hey, this is a thinner grip on Shadow 2, and Stock 2 has a little bit thicker. I think the dimension is different, but for me personally, when I tried the thin grip on both guns, I didn't feel like there was really difference. I just felt, oh, maybe I can get a little bit high grip on the Shadow 2, and that was about it. And I know Shadow 2 has a better magazine well on the bottom. They kind of rounded it out, and the magazine is smaller. And to be honest, there's not much difference. I feel a little bit more comfortable on my fingers with Shadow 2, but shooting is the same.
All right, Hopkins, what do you think?
I think they're both really good guns, honestly.
Yeah, but how are they different?
So the dimension muzzle to breech, like front to back, is going to be the same. But the width of the grips is going to be, the Stock 2 will be bigger, the Shadow 2 will be just a little thinner.
The Shadow 2 is a little thinner, but it's a bit longer, yeah?
It's the same length.
Not the
As the
grip
Stock 2.
panel, but the grip itself?
Yeah, I believe they're the same front to back.
Huh, okay.
That was the biggest difference in the change from the Shadow 1 to the Shadow 2, was the front to back dimension of the grip, where they added the checkering on the front and back.
Yeah, and then, but you'd say balance is broadly similar. The Shadow 2 is a touch heavier, right?
Yeah, maybe an ounce.
An ounce, it's not much.
No, when you're holding 2 pounds out there, you'll never know if one end's 1 ounce heavier or not.
Which one would you recommend people get?
Whichever one they want, honestly.
Yeah.
Whichever one is available and whichever one like you want to get.
Yeah, so
There's
I have,
pluses and minuses for both.
yeah. So I mean, I've shot Stock 2s a lot. I feel very similar opinion. They're very, very close guns in terms of performance and weight and balance and all that shit. They feel a little bit different in your hand. That can be changed by changing grip panels. So, you can, for both guns, there's options out there now to change the grip panels. You can dramatically change the feel of the gun. What options do you have for triggers, Hopkins, in the shadows? Like, do
We
you have
have,
a
like-
flatter one, or
No,
one that-
well, we have a sort of flatter one.
yeah,
So the stock one comes. There's like 3 different choices. The stock one, you can go a little fatter, which makes it thinner, like flatter front face,
uh-huh.
and then there's like a mid-range one also.
Yeah. So the Tanfolios are similar. They got one curved trigger that's hella curved, so that makes it easier to reach, and then it has a flatter one that makes it a little longer reach. So it's a little longer reach for double action, but people find it to be a bit more comfortable for single action. Most like adult male, like average size hands. Yeah. So as far as what I think, buy whichever one you like, buy whichever one's available. I don't think it makes a big difference. I think what's the Shadow 2 in terms of money? It's a little bit more, I think.
1,200, I think.
Yeah, but to be honest, I think the factory trigger comes in better condition. So if you buy a stock 2, I would be prepared to spend a little bit of money on some parts for like maybe a different hammer or different trigger to get it to fit your hand or whatever the fuck. New grip panels probably, which is, again, that's going to be some money. So they're very similar money at the end of it. Buy whichever one you like, buy whichever one's available, whatever. If you had a Shadow and now you want a Shadow 2, you've already got the magazines and everything, so that's going to be an easy switch. So if you already have a Tanfolio like stock 3 and you want a stock 2, like that's an easy switch too. And in full disclosure, I get money from Tanfolio to shoot
I
their
get
gun,
money from CZ. So
and Matt
same
gets
thing.
money from CZ to shoot their gun.
Kim's the only one that doesn't.
Kim
And
gets
those
money
two
from
brands.
Walther to shoot their gun. And so like Matt and I are very closely aligned on this. The only difference that I can tell is there's some secret sauce, some Tanfolio magic that causes you to win big championships with those.
Yep, it's proven. It's statistically proven.
There's some magic going on there. I don't know what it is. But you motherfuckers, you guys snaked out. You guys are sponsoring Goot now, so maybe there's going to be a little bit of CZ magic.
I will see.
No.
I think
But you know what? That's Tanfolio magic just, remaining on him.
Oh yeah.
Don't you think?
Just bleed over.
Probably. I don't know. All right, guys.
That makes sense.
It does. Jeff, as an open shooting dot fiend gear queer, you got any opinions on the relative differences of these two guns?
They're a little different up here, just because we get different sized Tanfos.
You get the small frame ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
And you guys, not being in the U.S., have a different importer situation.
We do.
What's that like?
We have basically one importer for Tanfo who charges quite a premium for being the only dealer. And that's why basically if you shoot production division, you're shooting a CZ, you're shooting a Shadow 2.
Yeah, because
Simple as that.
the stock twos are what is it in moose bucks?
I think they're going for about 1,800, 1,900.
1900 moose bucks for a stock two.
Yeah.
Those bucks.
Well, no, that's moose bucks in Canada. It's dollar reduce in Australia, and New Zealand has I think Kiwi bucks.
Sounds about right.
Oh. Anyway, okay. So and Jeff, that situation's not unusual. As far as around the world, like for whatever reason, the Tanfolio importers charge hella money.
Because they can, I guess.
Yeah, they can because, at the end of the day, you're going to need the Tanfolio magic, right?
Magic doesn't come cheap.
No, apparently not. Okay. Well, I think that does it for us on this fine episode of Practical Pistol Show. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for coming on. Jeff, Matt, Kimmy, thank you so much. And listeners, if you have a question you'd like the answer to, go to benstegger.com. Send me your question. I'd love to hear from you. Yes, and as you can see, we'll have a fun conversation about it. We always do.